So interviewing Ryan Garcia, the young phenom who's just 20 years old at the top of his game, professional boxer. He's 17-0, 14 knockouts, and he's the future. So this interview is strictly for the youth, the kids that really don't have the guidance. Maybe they want to be a boxer, an entrepreneur, an entertainer. Maybe they want to run a business, but they don't know how. Ryan's in the 1% at such a young age. I want to show people how to bridge that gap. It's going to be epic, dynamic. Let's go. I'm here with the young phenom, Ryan Garcia, in Canelo's gym. You've been training here for a while, and if you don't know who he is, you'll know. 17-0, 14 knockouts, ESPN's Prospect of the Year. Thanks for having me, man.
No problem, man.
Excited to be here.
All good.
So, boxing at 7 years old. Do you remember, how'd you get into it?
So I was playing baseball, and I was killing it. I was like Babe Ruth. I mean, that's just what they called me. I don't want to say anything else, but my team, we ended up getting 4th place, and I was so pissed because I was like, man, I did good. I felt like I performed well. Like, why am I getting 4th place? Like, I always wanted to get first, even as a kid. So I chucked my bobblehead they gave me, and I chucked it across the field, and my uncle seen me, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, I can't do this. I want a sport that's just one-on-one. I don't want to rely on anybody else. And he told me about boxing. I didn't know what it was, but he showed me a picture of a championship bout, and I was like, oh, I want that, because it's so shiny. As a kid, you're like, oh, it's shiny, you want that. So he told me about boxing, and then he showed me a clip of what boxing is, and it's like punching people. I was like, I don't care what it is, Uncle, I want to do it. And then he took me into a garage, and ever since we were training in the garage.
So we talked before, I said, was there a tipping point? And you said no, you always knew you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So there was no like, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. You just continued to work at it.
Yeah, there was never a point in my life where I said, oh, I'm gonna box for the rest of my life. No, it was more, I was so into it, I was so passionate about it, it wasn't even a question, like it wasn't a doubt in my mind that it would have been. I didn't even have to ask myself, oh, this is what I want to do, or think, oh, this is what I want to do. It was already happening.
So there's a lot of young fighters watching, a lot of young athletes and entrepreneurs. Yeah. They probably see you online and they think, man, his life is amazing and fighting's been easy. So you said you always want to do it, but tell people, was it easy coming up from 7 to now age 20? Was it easy for you the whole way, or was there a lot of challenges?
No, I mean, the challenges, every year new obstacles came and new things to overcome. Especially, my family, we had to struggle through a lot to get to this point. In boxing, as an amateur, you don't get paid, you have to pay for everything. You have to pay for the flights to the tournaments. Nobody's paying for anything. So, I mean, I remember moments me and my dad would go to the tournaments, and we would literally sleep in a car to go to the tournament. We would sleep in the car, my dad would buy blankets from Walmart, shout out Walmart, and then he would take them back after we're done with the tournament so we could have money for gas to get back home. And then that's how we would get through a lot of the tournaments. I mean, we all as a family, we had a vision. We didn't have much, but we put a lot of our time and effort into things that we really wanted, and that's how we got to it.
So was there ever any doubt of giving up, or was that never even in question because of how much work you put in?
I mean, my family, they never had doubt in me. It was more like, the other, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles. They would say,
the immediate family.
Yeah, they would always say, you're not gonna be a professional boxer. There's no way you could be a champion. Wow. It's like you're wasting too much money. You guys are living like. I mean, we weren't living.
Did that motivate or discourage you?
My parents never let it reach me, so they kept it to them, and they had to deal with it. I was just focused in the gym. I mean, my dad would be hard on me. That's where he would take it out. All the pressure from his other family, he would take it on me. Like, you got to do this. You got to wake up. You have to work. And I mean, as a kid, sometimes, man, you don't want to train, but. You got to do what you got to do.
That's a big point to understand, is they didn't even get to you. They were protecting you to make sure you were focused at all times. 100%. I love that. So training regimen on an everyday basis, what does it look like?
So during training camp, we wake up around 6:30. We'll go run 5 miles. I push my hardest each time, and it's just what I do. Some people like to, take their time.
So it's not 5 miles casual, it's like intense.
No, it's intense. You go as fast. I go as fast as I can. I can't speak on other fighters, but I know when I go 100%.
So it's a sprint.
Everything, this is how I think. Everything you do, if you put 100%, you're gonna get 100% out. You put 90, you'll get 90. It's like same thing. It's like when you're fighting, you're not gonna give 80%. I mean, but if you train 80%, you're gonna fight 80%, and then you're gonna get 80% back. So I go hard in everything I do. Then from there, after running 5 miles, we'll take a rest a little bit. I might, warm up in where I'm at and shadow box for 6 rounds just to get the blood flowing. Get maybe some breakfast, coffee, and maybe some egg whites and whatnot. Then get ready to go to the gym at 12. And then when we get to the gym at 12, I'll show you a little bit of things, but pretty much we hit the bags a couple rounds. We do shadow boxing. We work with the trainer on technique. Slipping your head, moving. What could happen in the fight? What can't happen in the fight? It's just methodical thinking and going over strategy. And then we'll go into some sit-ups, push-ups, and there's a lot of variety of things that
changes every day.
It changes every day because your coach want maybe see something in sparring that you need to work on. So we'll work on that the next day and just keep improving.
There's something that took me years to figure out, and how you have this in your head at your age is very admirable. Talk about the philosophy you have of always improving and not comparing yourself to anybody except who you were yesterday. Talk about the importance of that in your training. Only beating your best.
I mean, I learned that, I think, about a year ago, where I really, really knew that's exactly what you have to do. You work on improving yourself before anything, because at the end of the day, if you're worrying about the next guy, you're not focusing on yourself, therefore you're not improving. And my mindset is, if I throw my hook this way, how could I get it faster each day? Keep thinking, And then I train my mind and then my physical. So if I'm training my mind on visualizing how I'm throwing the punch, and then I'm improving it in my mind, I'll apply it physically, then I improve it physically. So it's like I improve both my mental and my physical.
That's huge. And does your competitive drive come in on every fight? Is it in training? Is it every run? Because we talked earlier, like after the beach, you said you're massively competitive. Yeah. And it's been in you your whole life. Does that come into play every single time you train?
Every time, because it's like I hate to lose. I hate when somebody got a little better than me, not better than me, but like the best of me, maybe in sparring or something. Like it literally fires me. I don't know what's more motivation, like my family or my competitive, like they clash. It's crazy.
We were trying to figure that out earlier.
I'm trying to still figure it out, because it's like I do a lot like for my family and everybody, but I also do it for myself. Like I'm so competitive that sometimes it overpowers everything.
Do you think that gives you an advantage?
I think 100%, because a lot of people might play, I respect my opponent, or I also respect my opponent, but they might play it as in let the best man win. But I'm more like, no, I'm gonna win and I'm gonna do it.
You respect your opponent, but in the inside, you're kind of like, I'm ready to kill him.
Yeah, I'm ready to just demolish.
I like that. So motivation, where's that come from? Yeah. A lot of people know watching that do physical activity, after a certain point, almost everyone, when they feel like it, they just kind of stop.
Yeah.
If they're but you obviously continue to push forward. Yeah. Is that now habitual, or is it still a mentality? What goes through your mind
I like that
when
question.
You're thinking about giving up, or when you want to push more? What goes through your head?
I love that, because I learned that recently last camp. When you're feeling say you're feeling your lungs kind of losing air, or you're feeling the doubt, like I don't know if I could do another one, that's when I put in my mind, this is where I can improve, because I'm finally hurting. So if I'm hurting right here, this is where it counts. So I push, and I keep it, I'm like, all right, I'm improving. And then I'll put in my mind, like my parents or somebody, like things in my mind that are motivating me, and I'll just keep ignoring the doubt until I kill it.
So right when you get to that pain point, you're like, I got to push past this, because this is mine.
This is where it's at. This is what separates you from everybody else. Right here at this moment, because most people will be like, damn, I'm tired. Yeah. Right there, I'm like, oh, shoot, this is where I got to push. This is the only way. And then I'll improve next time. I won't feel it at this point. I'll feel it another time. So I got to keep going.
That's huge. Yeah. Mental capacity versus physical. Let's talk about both. How much do you think fighting is physical and mental? Just this is my curiosity question. Yeah. Is it like 90-10, 50-50? What would you say in your experience?
Man, it's a strong balance, but I feel like mental plays, I think, a little bit of a bigger part in it.
I don't know if people realize that.
Yeah,
they think it's all physical.
It does, because you see I have talent, right? I'm speed, I'm fast, everything, power. But if my mental game is not right, it just won't pull the trigger. It's just not there. So I think mental definitely plays a bigger part in it. And I can honestly say that.
Do you have days where you don't feel like working out, but you still do it?
100%. And what I say to myself when I have those days is I got to improve the days I'm not feeling good. This is where I can improve. So one day I won't have a bad day, or one day I won't feel like not training because I've already worked on it when I do have a bad day.
I want people to realize that because a lot of
it's hard to catch on to that. It's weird. It's a weird process, but it changes your mindset where you can't lose. You can't lose because you covered every ground. You can't lose because you can't have an excuse like, damn, my arm was hurting today, because you improved when your arm was hurting. So when your arm does hurt, it's like, oh, I've already been here and I've already improved on it. And now I'm at a point where even if he's at his best, my worst is better than his best.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good mindset. So take me through your mindset. Your fight lasted 31 seconds, 30 seconds?
One of my fights, 30 seconds. No, my last fight ended in the 5th round. But one of my fights, I knocked him out in 30 seconds.
It was like you knocked him out, he got back up, 30 seconds. So he falls after 30 seconds. You just trained all that time. Yeah. The fight's over in 30 seconds. What's in your head right there? We'll show the clip. Are you like, next fight? Are you like, damn, I can't believe I did that? Or are you just
at that moment, I was a little younger. So I really thought like, I was just on top of the world, man. At that, I was like, what, 18, 19? So I was like, I'm still young, but your mindset changes every year. But when I knocked him out in 30 seconds, I felt like the man. I was like, let's go. Like, it's no better feeling than knocking somebody out. Honestly.
So you knock someone out now in 30 seconds. Is it a different frame of mind?
Yeah, because I have so much more to prove, and I feel like I never settle now. It's like I'm never happy with not that I'm not happy about the victory or whatnot. I'm just more like, okay, now I can improve next fight. What can I work on? Okay, this, that. Because I don't like to get comfortable ever, because the moment I feel comfortable, I feel like I'm not improving.
What do you tell people right now that feel like they're not achieving their potential, or maybe right now they are comfortable and they know they shouldn't be? Yeah. What's like the first step they should take, whether it's fighting or not? What do you think? If someone right now is comfortable wanting to get to your level, yeah, but they're comfortable.
If you're satisfied where you're at right now and you feel like you could reach higher, why wouldn't you want to reach higher than wherever you're at? Why wouldn't you want to go for the stars or reach for your dreams? It makes no sense. You're settling on, where you're at, and it's good, it's great, I'm happy for you, but don't you want more? Like, don't you think that in life, if you don't go for the top of the top, then you only have one life? What are you doing it for then?
I love that. And your mindset. So a fight 2 years ago, you win in 30 seconds. I'm on top of the world. This is amazing. A fight you win in 30 seconds now, what's next? You're not satisfied.
Not satisfied. I like what's next?
So motivation-wise, you say, what, 60-40 physical to mental?
I would say that, yeah.
And does fighting translate to off? You said one thing to me on the phone that really stuck with me. You said, I don't want to be known just as a fighter.
Yeah.
I want to be known for my legacy and who I am.
Yeah.
That was powerful. That's one of the things that made me, like, you stick out to me. Yeah. What do you mean by you don't want to be just a fighter? You're all in on boxing right now. Why would you not want to be just a fighter?
I meant that as, I want to be known as, like I said, Ryan Garcia as a person. What I left behind, boxing or what I did for the community, or what I did for millions of people, or who I inspired, what I left. Of course, my boxing will be part of my story, but I definitely want to leave myself down in the history books, not just as a boxer.
Where does that mindset come from? People you look up to and respect?
Especially, no, that's exactly what, I look up to characters as Muhammad Ali. When you talk about it, you think of so much more. When you think Muhammad Ali, he stood up for himself, his country, and I mean, he didn't go to the war, but he stood up for what he believed in, and that spoke volume, and it carried him till now. People still talking. They're always going to talk about Muhammad Ali, or let's say LeBron James, what he's done for the community. When people talk about LeBron, they're going to talk about everything. When they talk about, let's say, there's so many people out there, like, let me think. I can't, it's not coming to my mind. But you know what I mean. Legends, you know what I mean. The legends, the people that did something for the people and spoke up on things that they need to speak up on and took a stand.
It's huge. I love it. So I want to transition. So you're definitely becoming big online. People know about you. You're 17-0. You have your next fight March 30th, Fantasy Springs. What are some... The fans want to know, what are some exciting investments or money? Where do you spend some of your money? What are some fun purchases you've made?
Oh man, I know
you like supporting your family.
Yeah, I have a problem spending money on clothes and designer stuff, man. I was like spending like $30,000 on Christmas and just buying a bunch of stuff for my family.
Is it really a problem or do you not care?
I don't care. But
not that much of a problem.
Not that much of a problem. But like my mom always checks me and is like, Ryan, you need to chill out. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I should be a little smarter on that. But I'm having fun right now. But of course, I will be making investments in real estate and stuff like that. That's what my plan is.
That's great. So parents, amazing family. I've met your family. Met your younger brother who's also a fighter, Sean. Met your crew. It's tough these days. Parents raising kids, and to raise a family with this much focus and a great moral compass, a great foundation. Yeah. Do you remember some of the most important principles that you've learned from your family in the last 20 years? What are some ones that stick out?
The things my dad always taught me, this thing that stuck out to what my dad taught me was, if you're gonna do something, be the best out of it. And like, once he told me that as a little kid, I never thought of anything less than being the best. I'm like, all right, like it just stuck to me. I'm like, all right, when I do something, I'm not gonna settle for anything less than the best. And then my mom has always kept me grounded as being humble and to never let anything make my head blow big. And that's helped me a lot because it's kept me disciplined and fired to keep going no matter what. Keep going and act like I'm still dirt poor and just gotta keep working. So that stuck out to me from my mom, and she's always kept me in check. I mean, if anytime she thinks I'm getting big-headed or whatnot, she's always been there.
So you keep a level head because of what she said.
Yeah.
I just want people to know, like, telling people when they're young certain principles and philosophies, they never forget those.
It stuck with me.
So what do you tell people watching that maybe haven't had a great upbringing? Maybe they're from a broken home. Maybe they don't have any guidance or any mentorship. What can they do to get on a path to greatness if they don't have any guidance around them?
Definitely look for your passion, first of all. Find your passion. Find with something you're extremely passionate about. Focus on that and go for it 100%. I mean, I know the environment, because I was in that environment, but luckily I had a family there. But for people that don't, maybe get involved with your coaches and really talk to them about, I'm going through this. If you could help guide me or help me, navigate. I don't really like this, or my parents are doing this, my parents do that. Talk to somebody, because I feel like once you start talking to somebody, there are people there to support you and help you out the best way they can. And then, literally try your best to stay focused. I can't stress it enough. Like, go 100%, whatever, obsess over it, go crazy over it, because whatever you give, you're gonna get back. You go 100%, you're gonna get 100% back. I promise you, in anything.
You said the word obsessed. A lot of society says being obsessed is bad, but most people that have reached greatness say you have to have it. So it's interesting you use that word obsessed.
It's a different type of obsession. It's like you have to remember every step or every move, because you have to take in correlation of everything, because I don't know, you just have to do that. There's no other way around it. You have to remember how the ropes feel and how it the best gamers, they pay attention to even the frame seconds. Like you only get to a certain level if you obsess over every detail.
Why do you think most people don't reach greatness in our society? By the way, this is a tough question for just to ask a 20-year-old, but you've been killing. I mean, just who you are is what's most fascinating to me. So why do you think most people settle and most people don't reach for greatness?
It's the pain, the doubt, and the straight up grind that you have to do every day. It's nasty. It's not fun. It's uncomfortable. It feels like you're gonna break down any second, mentally, physically, and on top of it, the pressure's coming from other people and not believing in you or doubting you. So it's like all that at once. You need to learn how to go. That's what I say to myself. Go. Like, it doesn't matter. Just get up and go. I'm tired. Go. And every day though, it's not, that's what's so hard about it. It's every day of your life. You don't care about anything else. That comes to a part where not a lot of people could say, this is all I want. This is all I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. It's like, there's a lot of people that will say it, but 2 weeks in, it's like the doubt creeps in and they can't go after that. It's hard every day though. I'm talking about every day. That's why you can't reach it. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday grind. Imagine getting up every day, like swallowing a pill, but it's not an easy pill. It's a 5-mile pill. Imagine getting punched in the face, boom, and training, getting better and better. And on top of it, people are coming at you every which way, talking in your ear. Just so much stuff is coming at you, and you still gotta
stay calm. How's the other side feel though when you just went 17-0? When you're getting all these sponsorships, people are screaming your name.
Yeah.
You're doing amazing at your age. How does that feel, getting through all the pain and actually accomplishing?
That's why it's worth what it is. Because that moment when you knock somebody out, and you're at Madison Square Garden, the whole arena's lifting you up. There's no better feeling than that. Forget the money, forget everything else. When you finally feel accomplished and feel like the hard work was worth it, it's no better feeling in the world.
I'll never forget Michael Jordan's first championship trophy. He was crying. They asked him why he was crying. He goes, no one would understand how much pain I went through to get this.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing where it's like, forget the money, forget the partnerships, the sponsorships, forget everything. It's your pain actually turned into something great.
When I win my world title, I would definitely cry 100%. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's just, I've been through so much and I've worked every day towards it. It's like, once I win it, man, it's gonna let go so much emotion. I can't wait. That's why I gotta keep going.
So what's next for you? What's the future hold for Ryan Garcia?
So the future right now is, we got March 30th in front of me, which I never take anything lightly. So get the victory there. Then we're obviously gonna fight on the Canelo card in May, and then maybe a possible title shot in September, which will be great. I'm ranked number 1 right now under this guy that's a champion, so I'm in line to fight him. So possibly I could fight for a world title in September, but we got to see how it happens. But right now, those are my 3 things lined up in front of me.
Love it, man. So you heard it first, wants to be a world champion, but much respect to you, not for your fighting, but for who you are as a human being, for your emotional maturity, for the vision you have, for someone that wants to reach greatness the right way, no cutting corners, all love.